How are you doing today? My name is Chad. This video, I want to go over my results from yesterday's match. We'll just start out with, it was the worst one so far. All right, so Saturday night, I managed to get to sleep a little after midnight. I think I kind of woke up around 1:15, 1:30 for some stupid reason, and managed to go back to sleep pretty quick. Get up about 3:40 so I can start moving around and get ready for the day. Get out of the house and get over to the match location. And it was already about as windy as it is right now, and it just progressively got worse throughout the day. So, like I mentioned last week, it was supposed to have been kind of a style of an NRL hunter, but not quite a full-on NRL hunter type match. So I was under the impression we were going to be able to look out and kind of find the targets and have an idea of where they were at before we started, and then we just go up to the position and range them and then engage the targets. So that's kind of what I had mentally prepared for. They ended up running it more or less like a full-on NRL hunter match. So anyways, I was kind of mentally prepared for one type of match, and ended up being a little bit different. Really, we just ended up having an extra minute of time to do it, so 4 minutes total per stage, and we did not get to see them beforehand, so we had to go up. There was a stake position for starting, and a ranging position, and then a firing position. So pretty much you have all the stuff that you're going to be using, holding on to it, and then they call time and you walk up a couple steps to where the ranging position is and drop your stuff down, get down on your binos, scan around and find the targets, range them, and then write your data down. And then you got to move forward with your rifle to engage the targets from the shooting position. So you can tell how windy it is right now. It was actually worse at the match yesterday. So we started out first stage. It was like 2 pigs, and they were in the mid 400s. And I thought I had stuff pretty well figured out, but as we'll find, I progressively managed to get myself worse throughout the day instead of better. So first stage, I got a first round hit on the first target. That's worth 2 points, and immediately move on to the second target. And took my 2 shots at that, missed both of them, then changed position, went back to the first target, and missed it again. Move on to the next target, missed it again. So I only ended up with 2 points on that stage, and I got 7 out of the maximum 8 shots off. So one thing different about this type of match is the way it's scored. So there will be either 1 target that you have to shoot from 4 positions. There will be 4 targets that you have to shoot from 1 position, or there will be 2 targets and 2 shooting positions. If you get a first round impact, it's worth 2 points, and you move on to the next target or position. If you impact it with your second shot, if you miss your first one, that's worth 1 point, and then you move on. If you miss both, you just move on to the next target or position. So I was really hoping to get a lot of first round impacts at this stage so I could, move on through the stages fairly quickly. The second stage ended up being the tires stage, so I got to test out my idea with the bipod, the shorter one, and that part actually kind of worked out. It was going to stay in position, but my rear back method was not the best. So I don't know, we'll revisit that when I get some tires set up to practice it. Anyways, it was like a big boar pig with a vitals center in it. And that one's around 454-ish if my ranging was correct. And I got 2 points on that one, but you had to shoot from 4 positions. So 1 position on the tires, move to another position on the tires, another position, and then back up again. The next stage, it was some crows. So we had a ranging position, then move forward onto the edge of a pond and engage the 4 targets from the same position. If I ranged it right, were about 467, and I ended up getting 2 points on that stage. And then we had one where we had to start below a pond dam, holding everything, then walk up the pond dam, and get to the top, set up, range, find 2 circle targets, a left and a right one, and then engage those. Now this one was tricky. The one on the right I found easy. That one was good. I was confident about that one. The one on the left, I think it was behind a tree that was, as the wind was blowing, it was covering it up. That's what I'm thinking it was, or I found the wrong target. And so I'm finding that I'm not making out shapes really well with my 10x binoculars at 400 or 500 yards. I'm not being able to distinguish small shapes very well. So that kind of worked against me at this match. But anyways, I got down and tried to shoot at the first one, missed that. So I think I either ranged what I thought the target was wrong, or I was completely on the wrong target. Moved to the second target and boom, got that circle. Then you have to run down the bank a little bit and set up again, get down prone in the dirt and re-engage the 2 circles. I ended up with only 2 points on that stage. All right, then we go back to the beginning area, and this is when the wind was starting to get up in the 12 to 18s, and I was seeing 22s and 24s when I was checking the wind speeds. Now the next one, we had 1 target that we had to shoot from 4 positions. It was a kind of buffalo target, and this one we had to shoot off the culverts. And I'm pretty sure I ranged it correctly, but I could have been off a little bit. What I'm really thinking what started happening here is I noticed, that I was not getting as many impacts as I usually should, because I was fairly stable on, over half of my shots, and I was still missing. So I was pretty confident that I was ranging correctly. I went back to manually telling my Kestrel what direction the wind was coming from, and I think that I was a little off in my assessment of where north and south was. So, straight north should be 12 o'clock on the clock's position, and straight south should be 6 o'clock. When I would use my Kestrel to get the wind direction, it would tell me something like 6 or 6:30. And then I would look at what I thought north was, and to me it was coming like more of a 4 or 3:30 direction. So I'd manually go in and change it. So I was almost given a 90-degree change in the wind from what the Kestrel thought the direction was. So I just kept going with that. And then on that stage, I kept missing. I could see that I was going high and right. So I would try to come down to the lower left edge of the target and still miss. Move position, try to go a little bit more lower left and come down a couple clicks and still missed. Go the next bit. I ended up missing every shot I took on that stage, and I could not figure out why. Then we go to the next one and do kind of the same thing again. And it was some IPSC targets off of tank traps, and I ended up getting 1 point on that stage. But you got to range it, move up, set up, engage both targets, then move position, engage both targets again. So I only got 1 point on that one. Then the last stage was a coyote that we had kind of an elevation changing. You had to range and shoot from one starting position and then move forward, and there was like a little valley, and you had to shoot from there. So you had to bring your tripod from your ranging position up to there and set up on the tripod to get over the little hump and engage the target again, and then move forward and get down prone if you can and engage it again, then go forward a little further and engage again for the 4th position. So I only made it up to the 3rd position, and that one I scored 0. So I was racking my brain all the rest of the day trying to figure out what I actually did wrong and why I was missing so much, because for the most part I was stable and like my PRS fundamentals were pretty good. So what I realized is in the PRS matches, I will tell my Kestrel that the target is at 12 o'clock, and then I will tell it what direction the wind is coming in relation to facing the target directly. And I forgot that when I range with my binoculars, it is also sending the angular direction of the target to my Kestrel, and then it calculates based on what I have the wind, speed, and direction set at. So I'm thinking what I was doing is when I would manually change the wind direction from like a 6 o'clock to a 3:30, 4 o'clock type position, I was telling it instead of having like a wind from my back, it was more from the side, and it was giving me an overcorrection, which would make sense on the one culvert stage because I was missing off to the right and I had adjusted right. So I think I was just overcorrecting by telling the Kestrel the wrong information. And then when I would range it, it would say, instead of being the target at 12 o'clock, it would use the actual degrees. So it was not always at a straight north angle. It may be over here, and I'm telling it the wind is coming, you know, from across, and it should be coming from behind or something like that. So I'm pretty sure that's what it was, because when I was testing out here, I did not have that kind of problem. So overall, there was, if you had to take 2 shots at every target, maximum shots would have been 56. If you got everything clean run or clean match, and you got every shot hit on the first one, minimum would have been 28 shots. So I actually took 44 shots and only ended up scoring 9 points, which is absolutely terrible. I had a couple of first round impacts, so you know, my hit rate was for the amount of shots I took, and I'm about a 20% on this one. So that was absolutely terrible for where I've been in the 60s to pushing 70s% of the overall score. So this one was definitely my most disappointing match. It was also the most different match from what I've been trying to learn, and very few, I mean, the fundamental skills still applied, but the setting up and ranging and doing all the calculation stuff was very different. So what I thought I would do is I set up a little mini stage here, and I just want to run through and see if I can kind of portray what one of these stages would have been like now that I know a little more about how it works. So I've got a couple targets set up down there, and we'll just see if I can pull this off or not. And this should also give me an idea if I'm missing all of these, if I have some bad data somewhere, or if I was just using my Kestrel wrong again and telling it to overcompensate or undercompensate for the wind, depending on the direction it was coming from. So as you can very well see, it is super, super windy today. So right now, this isn't even maybe 2/3 of what it was yesterday. I'm getting about a 9, 10 mile an hour with gusts in the 12 to 13. Yesterday we were having like steady 12 to 15 mile an hour winds. We had a couple, it would be 18 to 22 for a little while, and then drop back down 9, 10, 12. It was very tricky. If you were like watching something like this where I'm trying to watch the direction as the wind is blowing across it, it keeps doing this. It will move. It'll be a real solid blow here, and then all of a sudden it'll be over here and then back over here. So I kept seeing the wind changing direction, so I'm thinking it's coming here, and then 2 minutes later it's coming here, and then another minute later and it's almost a 90-degree shift again. So it was being kind of switchy, jumping around, and I think downhill it was blocking some of the winds. There was a lot to this match, and pretty much the only people that did well were the guys that had already done NRL Hunter before, and one other guy that it was kind of his first time doing this type of match, and he's been doing these other PRS matches. He did actually pretty good, and yeah, I'm just very disappointed in my overall results. I know my fundamentals were good, so we'll see what the actual problem was here. The tricky part of this is having to carry everything while you're on the clock, at least for me. So this will be kind of a general idea of what I was doing. So I would actually take my wind reading right before I would go up there and have it set in my Kestrel. and I would just drop it in this little pocket here so it'd be close enough to my binoculars. So I've got a flag here that'll be the ranging position. I've got 2 flags up there that'll show me left and right edges that the target should be between. And then my shooting position will be off the barricade. So let's see how this goes. All right, everything's up and start. So usually kind of got to climb over something. So what I would do, set my rifle down, get my binoculars set up, and start on the left side, work down, find targets. That's telling me a 2.2. And a 2.4. I set up another little target down there I haven't shot at before, so .8. And this is mostly all a direct rearward wind. And that's giving me 4.3. So according to my Kestrel, I don't have any wind adjustments. So next I would just I'd drop my binoculars to the ground, grab my bag, rifle, and then come and get set up. So I try to use the same bag. All right, oh, and then we couldn't start with mags in, so now it's time to load mag, get my glasses on so I can hopefully see what I'm doing here. And let's see if this is gonna work or not. All right, this says I shouldn't need any windage, so let's find out. I think I got it. Hard to hear with this wind. All right, this one's kind of a popper, so I should be able to see if it moves. Got that one. All right, and then I got another little popper set up down there. I think I missed that one. Re-engage. Huh, missed that one again. I may have ranged that one wrong also. Okay. See if that guy way down in the trees is going to be obtainable today. No. So as you can see, I think I do have some data problems. So I got my first two and then missed the last two. So it could be the wind is picking up and slowing down. I'm not 100% sure. Definitely something that I've got to work more on. And I might need to chrono my ammo again, see if it's, sped up or slowed down since the last time very considerably. And I'm not 100% sure right now. Well, as you can probably tell, I'm disappointed in myself. Now I've got to go back to the drawing board and figure out with winds like this, is my problems coming from not reading the wind correctly? Am I reading it when it's gusting at a harder time, and when I'm shooting it's dropped down to a much slower speed? Is my direction slightly off? There's several things that it could be. More than likely it's something that I'm doing wrong, and I need to figure out what exactly it is that I'm doing wrong. So more things to work on as always. So this was a very different match from what I'm used to. Next month should be the finale for this little season with this local club here. And I'm hoping to go back to, doing decently well. It'll be more of the standard type match where we should have all the stage plan beforehand, kind of know what we're getting ourselves into. It helps me to kind of mentally play through it in my head a little bit and be ready to go through it on the clock. Well, that's going to do it for this video about the worst match so far that I have had. I don't know what I did wrong exactly, but I did do something wrong, and it was putting me off target, and I'm obviously still off target a little bit. So we're going to dive in, figure out what the cause was, and see if I can identify the problem and know how to correct it for future matches, because it's going to be windy. We are in Oklahoma here, so wind is going to happen. If it was something that I was doing wrong with reading the wind and shooting in the wind, I need to figure that out. Like I said on one of the last match review videos, wind is one of the next things that I've really got to get a handle on. That's one of them that is going to come with time, but in Oklahoma it is very windy, so I'll have plenty of chances to work on this. If you want to see how I figure out what the problem is and what the correction is going to be, make sure you are subscribed. Hit the button right down below there. Leave me a thumbs up on this video. I would really appreciate it. Anything you think of that I should try checking into, make sure and drop a comment down below. Let me know. I am very eager to learn exactly what happened here and where I went wrong. As always, I really appreciate everybody that watches my videos. I thank you very much for your time. I do hope you have a great rest of your day and a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.